awful lot of it. This your boy Desto Dub. Shout out Respectmusictv for pulling up to That's an Awful Lot of Kicks. First day, this the first black shoe store on Melrose. Yes, Sirski.
Ask you, what made you go into the sneakers?
Well, I already had the clothes, and I feel like like clothes and sneakers are like cars and tires. So, if you're gonna sell one, you might as well sell the other one.
Oh, okay. And so I seen your brand all over Rolling Loud, man. How does it feel though, from rags to riches, man? From having these brands coming up as a black man, having this on Melrose. There's not a lot of us out here on Melrose, but how do you feel about that? What's your inspiration behind it?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Keep it 100. I actually just like me myself. I don't really think about it too much, because I'm always thinking of like when I see something or I like let's say I see my brand on the stage. I think about how I could have did it better. So I'm never actually able to enjoy like what I see because I'm always trying to think of doing it bigger or better the next time. But the one thing that I do like and I appreciate is the way that it inspires other people. The shoe store is inspiring like a lot of kids to like you can do other things. Like you walk inside a liquor store, like just put it like when you walk in a liquor store, you never think I want to own a liquor store because it doesn't look like something that most people like. Let's say if I got a liquor store and I made it cool, now kids are like, okay, that's another thing on my list that I might want to become or do. So I just like opening up these doors for these young entrepreneurs to know like these are things that you can actually do yourself as well. You ain't gotta always just pay your money to somebody else. You can do it or pay to another black person that's doing it.
Right, and I mean it's a million people out there that's trying to grow, as growing their business of brands with clothes. What was your advice to be to come up with your brand and to be successful in clothes in the fashion business?
Uh, really, like I got a few things. One of the biggest things is if you're going to be in fashion, if you're going to be in anything, you got to surround yourself with people that are doing that same thing or that's in that field. I can't say I'm a basketball player and then as soon as practice over, I'm hanging out with the football players and the soccer team. Like no, like after work, I'm hanging out with basketball players. In the morning, I'm hanging out with basketball players. So surround yourself with people that's doing what you're doing. And the other thing is you got to kind of like I know a lot of people want to start businesses to like make money, but a lot of times you need to make some money then start a business. So like a lot of businesses fail because they don't have the income to like to keep the business up or pay their bills and keep the business up. So like one of the key things I would say to start a business is maybe have a job or something where you got money coming in, then try to start the business with the extra money you have. And then the last thing will be like really like spend that shit and invest it. Like, you see me all over rolling out, you see me over here, but that shit costs. So like I'm not really thinking about like, oh, you made it. No, I paid to be here. So in order for me to pay to be in more places, I need to work harder, you know? So like how can I make this make me more money so I can pay to be here again? So that would be like my best advice for anybody that got a business, spend it. Surround yourself with people who think like you are in the same field as you and don't start a business broke because it's kind of hard. Like like you, in business shit gonna fuck up. You're not gonna always make your money back. So with that being said, if you spending your rent money on trying to do a pop up and a pop up fail, which it will, it's gonna fail. But that's how you learn to not fail later on. You can't always win. You gotta fail first, then you are gonna win. So, always try to have like a job or something, and then start your business before you just try to start a business.
I agree. Last question. Obviously you are a successful businessman in the community. So who are your inspirations in entrepreneurship? Who are you inspired by?
Biggest Nipsey. I really mess with 50 Cent. A lot of stuff that he do. Jay Z. I just take different things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I take shit from my mama and she not. You know what I mean? I take shit from like these little kids in the front of my store. So a lot of people are my inspiration. I just put it all together. You know what I mean? But some of the biggest is like, Nip. He's not even here, but he still inspires me because he just really stood up for what he believed in. He was ready to die for what he believed in. Whether it's I believe the sky is blue, the ground is green, or I believe I shouldn't be paying that type of price for your service. He's willing to die behind it. So that's one of the biggest like things that inspire me is like if you're gonna do something, don't do it unless you're ready to die behind it. Not saying niggas need to be dying, but
No, I,
just think like if I'm gonna go to work Ain't nothing stopping me. Not no. Oh, I'm late or I'm willing to die to make sure I go to work. Nigga, that mean you willing to get your ass up and catch the bus then if the car don't work. I mean you willing to ask somebody for a ride who you probably don't mess with. I mean you willing to walk to get to work if you willing to die behind it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying.